So I've tried and tried to figure out why everyone hates the tag Heuer Aquaracer. I actually think that this watch here, which is an Aquaracer, it actually may be better than what you think. And so to explain, we'll look at the watch in my hand, look at some stats on that. We'll look at it on my wrist, do some wrist rolls, close-ups, and also we'll look at it with an outfit and to see how it all shakes out. And then by the end of the video, you can tell us what your opinion is. Is it better than what you think? So let's get right into it and let's look at it here in my hand. And while we're doing that, we'll look at some important stats about the watch. And so this is a 40 millimeter case here, which is really sort of a sweet spot for most people who don't want a watch that's too big but not too small. Usually 40 millimeters is fair for most people, right? Also, this is an automatic watch. It has the caliber 5 automatic, which has about 42 hours of power reserve, which is more than enough power if you plan on wearing this watch as a daily driver. And it's even good if you plan on skipping a day. You can pick it back up a day or two later, and it should still be ticking and on time. You won't have to reset it. Also, I think this watch offers some pretty good wrist presence for the 40 millimeter case. The dial and the bezel color, the combination together, I think looks really good. Also, along with the shape of the watch, I think it all stands out well. I think the dial is actually quite impressive. When you look at the rich color, when you look at the texture of the dial, great texture. When you look at the orange accents, I think everything pops and makes it stand out. I think it's pretty awesome, actually. So let's take a look at it here on my wrist. And so as I put it on my wrist, I really like the way the watch feels. And really, when I first bought this watch, I thought that it would look too small on my 7-inch wrist. But when I put it on, it did look smaller than what I usually would wear, but I don't think it's too small. The overall shape and the design, it just seems to fit really right in the middle of my wrist, which is a good thing. And I really like the crown guard and the crown itself. I like the design of it. It's pronounced but not too big, and so it doesn't make the overall watch feel too big on my wrist. Now, what about the bracelet and the clasp? How do those fit? I think it fits just fine. It seems to taper down a bit towards the clasp. I can't really tell, but it does seem seamless, I guess you could say. I don't notice any hair pulling, no skin pinching. I don't feel it rubbing up against my wrist. It doesn't feel uncomfortable, but it does actually feel smooth. And so it's a win on that front there for sure. But what about the weight? Sometimes you can wear a watch and it just feels like you're pulling something around or throwing something around, or you feel like you're going to hit it on something. It's too heavy. But in this case, I think the weight is good. You can feel the watch there, right? Because it is a nice watch. It does feel like something that's valuable, but it doesn't feel like it's too heavy. It feels more like it's a part of my arm and not just something that's on my arm, if that makes sense. What about the dial visibility? Well, the dial doesn't actually have numbers on it. You can see dial, or you can see numbers on the bezel, but still looks good, right? When the bezel lines up, you can see the numbers there, but even if the bezel is not lined up, then you can still tell the time because of the markers there. And so I think the dial visibility is good. So let's put on an outfit and see how that works. And so here I have just a standard man outfit, right? Jeans and t-shirt, blue jeans, black t-shirt. And what does it match? Well, the dial actually does match well with the jeans, because with the jeans there are some blue hints in it. Usually with blue jeans there are dark parts and light parts, and the dark parts really match the dark part of this dial and also the bezel. And also it has orange as well that coordinates well with the blue, pops out. And with the black t-shirt, while there isn't anything black on this watch, I think it does coordinate, especially when you're wearing blue jeans. Of course, if part of the watch were black, then of course it would match better with the black t-shirt, and it would also look good with white and gray. But I think the blue actually still looks good with white and gray, which are some of the other t-shirt colors that most people do wear. Now, what about wrist presence? Does it get lost? Well, I don't think it gets lost, especially with the bracelet. The 40 millimeter case does seem to work just fine in this case. You can still see it as I move around. It doesn't feel like you're not wearing anything. So, what do you think? Are you convinced? Is this TAG Heuer Aquaracer better than you expected? Or do you think it's just a wannabe luxury watch that you should skip, not even buy? Well, let me know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching.